Okay, R18 Roctane. Got a tank full of gas, it's about to get dark and I'm wearing sunglasses. Hit it. Okay, so this is the second time I've been on this bike today. Went for a nice little ride through the Royal National Park in the morning with my mate Rob from Field of Feast. We were going to go to the pie shop, but it was closed, so we ended up going to the Imperial at Clifton. So second time out, but I did do a vlog this morning and the audio was terrible, so I'm going to have another crack at it now. Hopefully this is better. Okay, so R18 Roctane. First impression, really like the colour. I think the colour is absolutely stunning. Love the style of the whole bike. Love that the front looks a bit more raked out. 21-inch front wheel on the front. That's sort of the big difference between that and my R18 first edition, is that this one has that 21-inch front wheel, which I think looks amazing. I like the clock in the headlight there, that looks good. I really like these little mini ape bars. I think they're kind of fun and not something that I'm really used to riding with ape hangers or mini ape hangers. So yeah, it's kind of fun. Just a little bit of a pullback really, so really comfortable. Love the running boards. I think they look great, but they also are incredibly comfortable. So overall, yeah, first impression looks-wise, really nice. The black chrome is just stunning. Love the blacked out rocker covers. Love the integrated bags with the, you know, the indicators and taillight in the bags there. I think the bags look amazing. This whole bagger style is something that, yeah, is really starting to grow on me. Aesthetically, really like it. Think it looks great. So I was just chatting to Amber before about the comfort and how is it. So for me, it's actually really good on this seat. And I was just asking her how it is on the back because she hasn't been a pillion for a while. For really quite a while. She normally just rides her own bike when we go out for a ride. But this one she decided to jump on the back. I reckon the last time she was a pillion was probably when I had the R18 Transcontinental. I can't remember pillioning her on any other bikes lately. So she said the comfort's good, but she said it would be better with a backrest. And that's, I suppose, where bikes like the Transcontinental and the Bagger come in, where you've got that top box integrated backrest. But she said the seat's comfy and the actual position is comfy. So that's, if you're thinking of pillioning on one of these, could be a bit of a winner. Okay, let's talk about torque. Let's talk torque. BMW R18s are just known as a torque monster. And I know the sort of riding I do now, I love torque. I'm not chasing, you know, the highest horsepower. For me, riding is so much more rewarding when you've got usable torque. Riding is so much better with torque. Life is better with torque. Actually, that could be a t-shirt. Life's better with torque. Ooh, I might make that. So the power on this bike, yeah, it just makes power from very low in the rev range. It's really happy just, you know, plodding along. Let's see what we're actually revs are sitting at. So we're sitting at 2,500 revs in 6 gear, doing about 100 k's an hour. And it's just comfy. The bike is just going, oh yeah, that'll do. And you could plod along at 80 and 6 gear at about 1,500 revs and it'd be fine as well. But then you wrap it on and there's just power there. It's fantastic. So this one is actually up on torque from my version, which is the R18 first edition. So it's up by, I don't know, 5 or 6 newton meters, maybe 10. I can't remember exactly what it is. We will be doing a full review of this bike, so all that stuff we'll mention in that. This is really just my first impression. I can't really notice this being any torquier than my bike. I must admit, I never really thought when I got my bike that, geez, it could do with some more torque. It's not really not something it needs. So yeah, power, excellent. Knew it was going to be because my R18 first edition, the power is excellent as well. Okay, we're going to keep cruising here. We're going to head into the M5 tunnel and then pop out and go around Eastern Distributor, head into town. Amber's going to do a bit of shopping before Vivid. And I might go get a couple of shots of this bike. I really can't stand shopping. So the R18 platform, I mean, is one that I loved ever since they announced it. And I have ridden quite a few of the bikes in the platform. Now this plane's going to run over us. How cool is that? I've ridden quite a few of the bikes in the R18 platform now. They're just such wonderfully stylish bikes. If you look at something like my first edition, you know, they've really nailed that classic aesthetic. It's really a bike that pays homage to the older BMWs from the, 30s and 40s and 50s. But this one is, probably more in that American bagger style. You know, probably more in competition with, some of the big V twins coming out of America in terms of styling. And possibly in terms of, where you'd ride this bike as well. This is, this would be a great touring bike, I reckon. Maybe not 2 up, be a great touring bike 1 up. You got the built-in panniers. Not a lot of room in there, I must admit. I'd probably like a little bit more room, but having said that, everywhere I go, I have to take cameras. So that, there's a bag and a tripod and, GoPro bits and, lens kits and all that sort of stuff. So I seem to fill up anytime I get a bike with panniers, I seem to fill them up with camera bits and pieces. If you haven't got to take that kind of stuff, there's definitely enough storage in there for a, for touring. Now, when I rode this morning through the park, lots of twisty roads down through that way. I've got to admit, the handling was so much better than I was expecting. Now, don't get me wrong, my R18 first edition handles so well. Much better than it has any rights to handle, being such a big bike. And I put that down to the, obviously a great chassis and also the weight of the Boxer engine. But this one's got a 21-inch front wheel, and I'm surprised at how well it handles. The seat's a little bit taller than mine as well. And it feels like I'm sitting up a little bit taller. Like, I feel like this has got a little bit more ground clearance than my bike. I don't know mine. I'm sort of constantly scraping out the pegs. I didn't scrape the pegs on this or the boards on this once this morning. I mean, it's a press bike and it was wet, so I wasn't really pushing it. But it does feel like there's a bit more ground clearance on these ones. I do like it though. I do like this bike. And I've got to admit, if I was, just after these first couple of short rides, if I was buying a brand new R18 today, I would certainly consider this Roctane over, say, I suppose mine's more the equivalent of the Classic, which I think is still a great bike. And in fact, one of my mates has one, and it's a beautiful bike. It's got that sort of matte, sort of grey-greeny colour, and I love it. It looks gorgeous. But, yeah, I'd probably consider one of these. I love this Dragon Red, or Red Dragon, whatever they call it. That looks stunning. So we're heading in here to Vivid Sydney. Now, Vivid's been running for about, it'd have to be 20 years now in at Sydney, and it's really brought the city alive during, the colder months. So it's, we're in May. It runs for a couple of weeks. Back 20 years ago, Sydney would have been dead in May on a, weeknight and Saturday night. So Vivid is this big light show that they run, and there's all installations all over the city. Amber and I come in every year to check it out. This year we are doing a little cruise, so that'll be kind of fun. I'll try and get some shots as we're out on the cruise, just for an hour or so, or an hour and a half. And then we're going to go grab a bite to eat. We'll go check out some of the other installations around town. But it looks like we've got a beautiful night to be on the harbour tonight. In my opinion, best harbour in the world. Sydney Harbour. It is absolutely stunning. And if you're coming to Australia, you should really do a harbour cruise. Or coming to Sydney, do a harbour cruise. I challenge anyone to name a prettier harbour than Sydney Harbour. Can't do it. I do like San Francisco, but still not as pretty as Sydney. So, just back from the Vivid cruise and a bit of a walk around to see some of the other installations. Definitely worth checking out. Runs till about the mid-June, 14th of June, something like that. So if you're in Sydney or planning on coming to Sydney, definitely head down to the harbour and check out Vivid. people everywhere. Mate, there was bands playing. It was great fun. So we did a bit of a walk and then had a nice dinner down at Darling Harbour at King Street Wharf. So the R18 Roctane 2025. We are going to do a full review on this with Lucas and myself. I don't think we're going to get Tegan's going to get time to ride it, unfortunately. So yeah, it might just be Lucas and myself doing this one. First impression, yeah, good bike, like it. Very much fits into the R18 family, along with the first edition and the classic and the bagger. I think they've dropped the Transcontinental. So wonderful bike, definitely my kind of bike. Even with these things like the apes and the bags, you know, not normally don't normally like that sort of stuff, or you know, haven't in the past like that sort of stuff. But yeah, no, I think my tastes are slowly changing. So if this is the first time you've seen one of our videos, we don't just do first rides, we also do, you know, more in-depth motorcycle reviews, as well as lots of rider stories, which is what we love producing. So definitely worth checking those out. If there's something you'd like to see on the channel in terms of motorcycle content, shoot us a message, put a message in the comments, and we'll see if we can make that happen. Till next time, stay safe, and we'll see you later. Bye for now.